The fisheries and aquaculture sector plays a significant role in our national economic development through its contribution to gross domestic product, job and wealth creation along the value chain, as well as food and nutrition security. Accordingly, the fisheries sector is important to the realization of the Ghana Beyond Aid agenda and the attainment of the Sustainable Development Goals, especially goals 1. Ending poverty. 2. Zero hunger. 3. Good health and well-being. 8. Decent work and economic growth. And 14. Life below water. Sustainable fisheries management. The marine and freshwater bodies of Ghana are well endowed with fishery resources, which, if properly managed, will provide sustainable economic opportunities for the country. However, marine fish catch has experienced considerable decline over the last few years due to overfishing and overexploitation. With the exception of the tuna fleet, which remains reportedly unaffected, the catch per unit of effort of all fleet has experienced decline over the years. Fish landings of some key marine species like sardines are at their lowest levels recorded and are of much smaller sizes. Closed fishing season. To effectively address the situation requires the adoption and implementation of sustainable fisheries management measures that will ensure the protection and conservation of fisheries resources for the benefit of both present and future generations. It also requires strict enforcement of the fisheries laws and sensitization of fishing communities. Accordingly, the Ministry and the Fisheries Commission, in accordance with Section 84 of the Fisheries Act 2002, Act 625, and the National Marine Fisheries Management Plan 2015 to 2019, started the implementation of closed season for the industrial fleet in 2016 as a marine fish stock recovery strategy to complement other existing strategies for the sustainable management of the fisheries resource. The ministry, in recognition of the gains from the 2016 and 2017 closed seasons, decided to intensify and extend the program to cover all sectors of the fishing industry, including the artisanal and inshore in August 2018. As we may recall, this first attempt of implementation, an all-fleet closed season, was met with some agitations from the artisanal sector due to inadequate engagement. Whilst the industrial fleet observed the closure, the artisanal and inshore were postponed. In 2019, the ministry, after extensive consultation and engagement, implemented the all-fleet or closed season for the first time. For 2020, the artisanal and the semi-industrial fleets could not observe the closed season due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic and the containment measures which affected consultations as well as engagement activities. MOFAD, after extensive engagements and consultations with key stakeholders, successfully implemented the 2021 all-fleet closed season for 1 month for artisanal and inshore fleets, 2 months for industrial vessels, and 3 months for tuna fleets. There was high compliance with the closure in all fishing communities, which is an indication of the general acceptance of the closed season and the need to manage the fishery resources sustainably to protect their livelihoods. This notwithstanding, there were incidents of infractions in some fishing communities. It is key to note that through the activities of the Fisheries Enforcement Unit of the Fisheries Commission, the Ghana Navy and the Marine Police, non-compliant fishermen were arrested in Sekondi, Benyi, and Eziama, all in the western region. The arrested fishermen are being prosecuted to serve as deterrent to other fishermen. In order to support the fisher folks and the fishing communities during this period, 15,000 bags of rice with 6,250 cartons of oil were distributed to over 17,000 people along the coastal communities. This intervention, first of its kind, was aimed at reducing the effects of the closed season on livelihoods of fishers and fishing communities, and to ensure compliance, the ministry also initiated the distribution of approved fishing nets to some fishermen in the Volta and Central regions. Other regions are expected to receive their fishing nets as soon as possible. At Elmina, the fishers insisted on continuing with illegal fishing activities, particularly light fishing and transshipments at sea, popularly known as cycle. They therefore refused to accept the relief items. The closed season was subsequently extended for Elmina until the ministry received the assurance that they will not engage in illegal fishing activities. A delegation was sent to the ministry on 3rd August 2021 to apologize and to draw a new roadmap to open the fishing season for fishermen at Elmina. The ministry, in collaboration with the relevant security agencies, has intensified enforcement activities, including land and sea patrols, to ensure that all fishers engaged in illegal, unreported, unregulated fishing activities will be arrested. We will arrest and prosecute all those who break the laws. As I indicated during my vetting, I will enforce all the laws concerning fishing to ensure that we leave a sustainable and transformed fishing sector for future generations. I wish to inform you that some arrests and seizure of light fishing equipment were made at Tema, Sekendi, Emisano, and Hini after the sea has been opened. Preparatory activities are also far advanced for the acquisition of 4 patrol boats for the sector. The 4 patrol boats will be deployed in each of the 4 coastal regions: Central, Greater Accra, Volta, and Western regions, for frequent inspections at sea, offshore, and for prompt response to detect infringements observed at the VMS centers. The patrol boats will also help in the fight against piracy, which has become rampant in the sub-region in recent times. The ministry has also initiated processes to procure 1 research vessel to undertake regular conduct of scientific fishery research, including stock assessments. Research vessels are important means through which the conditions and changes in marine ecosystems and fish stocks can be assessed to define allowable catch quantities. The vessels are used to collect information that is used to prepare detailed analysis and studies of the ocean. In essence, the absence of a research vessel creates a gap in the fisheries sector's ability to obtain marine data to support effective management of fisheries resources. The relevant processes are also ongoing for the drafting of a new Fisheries Act to replace the existing Fisheries Act 2002, Act 625, and the development of a new National Fisheries Management Plan to replace the previous plan that expired in 2019. The National Fisheries and Aquaculture Policy, which was developed in 2008, is also being reviewed. All these are to ensure that the management of the fisheries resources meets emerging trends in fisheries management and international best practice. I call on our fisher folks, vessel owners, fishmongers, and processors fishing communities, media, and the general public to support the fight against illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing activities. Promotion of aquaculture development. Ladies and gentlemen, aquaculture is a fast-growing subsector with a potential to progressively contribute to bridging the gap between domestic fish demand and supply. Aquaculture production in Ghana is categorized by three main production systems, namely ponds, cages, and tanks. Each system requires different degree of investment and management. Tilapia and catfish are the dominant species in aquaculture production. Aquaculture operators are organized into small scale, less than 50 metric tons per year, medium scale, 50 to 100 metric tons per year, and large scale above 100 metric tons per year, with the small scale dominating in terms of numbers. Government's vision is therefore to transform and grow the aquaculture subsector to increase domestic fish production, reduce fish imports, and create job opportunities along the value chain by providing the conducive environments. Key initiatives being undertaken to achieve this include the implementation of the Aquaculture for Food and Jobs, AFJ, improving the production and supply of good quality fingerlings, provision of extension services, provision of infrastructure, hatcheries, and essential aquaculture inputs. The ministry has been implementing its flagship program, Aquaculture for Food and Jobs, AFJ, initiative, which was piloted and fully rolled out in 2020. The implementation of the AFJ is aimed at increasing domestic fish production and creating job opportunities along the aquaculture value chain, particularly for the youths. The AFJ currently covers 13 regions, namely Ahafo, Ashanti, Bono East, Central, Eastern, Greater Accra, Oti, Upper East, Upper West, Volta, Western, and Western North. In the coming days, the ministry will distribute over 17,000 bags of feed to beneficiaries of AFJ program. So far, a total of 25 beneficiary institutions and groups comprising 6 senior high schools, 1 training college, 4 prison camps, 13 youth groups, and 1 fish farmers association have been supported in various capacities under the initiative. About 148 aquaculture holding facilities have also been provided under the initiative since 2020. The ministry is partnering with the GIZ, Ghana Country Office, to implement AFJ in the Western region. This support includes production facilities, tapoli, tanks, boreholes, fish feed, motorcycles for the extension officers of the ministry, laptops, and water test kits. The AFJ initiative will be extended to cover the remaining 3 regions, and the ministry will continue to provide the needed support for the beneficiaries. To ensure that fish farmers have access to good quality fingerlings, the ministry will continue to construct public hatcheries at strategic locations and upgrade existing ones to enhance their operations. The ministry has completed the civil works on 2 hatcheries at Sefioso in the Western North region and Doma and Hikro in the Bono region. Existing public hatcheries at Kono Odomasi in the Ashanti region and Ashama in the Greater Accra region have also been upgraded. Fish disease constitutes a major threat to the aquaculture industry and the investments of aquaculture operators. As you may recall, in 2019, there was outbreak of fish disease in cage farms, resulting in fish kills, loss in investments, reduction in fish production, and closure of some cage farms. Consequently, aquaculture production reduced from 76,600 metric tons in 2018 to 52,350 metric tons in 2019. The ministry undertook mass vaccination of cage fish farms in the affected areas at a cost of 4 million Ghana cedi, with the objective of preventing and containing the spread of the disease. This intervention accounted for increase in aquaculture production from 52,350 metric tons in 2019 to 64,004 metric tons in 2020. The ministry will continue to put in place measures to prevent and contain the spread of fish diseases in aquaculture establishments. Additionally, free real-time quality extension services will be provided to aquaculture establishments to improve farm management. Fish kills and beaching of dolphins. Ladies and gentlemen, on the 4th of April 2021, there were reports of fish kills at the Osu Castle Beach. Upon receiving the information, the Fisheries Commission and the Food and Drug Authority and other regulatory authorities independently assessed the situation. A visit to the scene revealed 13 different species of demersal and pelagic fish were washed ashore. The suggestion was that the cause of the fish kills affected the entire sea column. On Sunday, 6 April 2021, 2 days after the reported incident at the Osu Castle Beach, dolphins were also reported to have been beached on the shores of Biriwa Achim Beach, a landing site in the Nzima East municipality in the Western region. Assessment of the situation indicated that all the dolphins were beached alive and 21 were rescued. To ascertain the cause of the fish kills, water quality assessments were made at selected locations of the incidents. Parameters such as heavy metals, nutrients, and dissolved oxygen were assessed. Time series of sea surface temperature over the coast of Ghana during the period was also investigated. To ensure that the affected fishes were not consumed by the public, the FDA and the FC sensitized the general public to desist from consuming the dead fish and the beached dolphins through their officers in the affected regions. Examinations were carried out on the fish and the dolphins by an investigative team put together by the Fish Health Unit of the Fisheries Commission. The results of the examination revealed that most parameters required for aquatic animal life in the ocean were within acceptable limits. However, chemical oxygen demand was significantly higher than expected. High oxygen demand creates a condition of stress on living organisms that depend on dissolved oxygen in the water body. Drastic changes in temperature were recorded during the period. This is a significant factor causing temperature shocks, especially for tropical species which have a narrow temperature tolerance range. The findings of the tests carried out by the Fisheries Commission, which were affirmed by the satellite images of the University of Ghana, suggested that the fish from Osu died as a result of the low oxygen concentration in tissue. This condition of the sea water at the time caused a source of stress to the fishes leading to their death. This is a consequence of the high chemical oxygen demand in seawater as affirmed by the satellite images of the Marine and Fisheries Department of the University of Ghana. Hosting of 7th meeting of ministers in charge Fisheries and Aquaculture of the Organization of African, Caribbean, and Pacific States. Ghana was selected at the 6th meeting of ministers in charge of fisheries and aquaculture of the Organization of African, Caribbean, and Pacific States, held in September 2019 in Apia, Samoa, as the host of the 7th meeting scheduled to take place from 5th to 8th April 2022 in Ghana, Accra. The meeting is on the theme OACPS, Blue Economy Agenda 2030, Catalyzing Sustainable Fisheries and Aquaculture Development for the Future. OACPS is an organization created by the Georgetown Agreement in 1975, comprising 79 states from three regional blocks, namely Africa, Caribbean, and the Pacific states, and the Pacific, that cooperate with the European Union. And many sectors, including the fisheries and aquaculture, as a key contributor to job and wealth creation, food and nutritional security, as well as gross domestic product of member states. The organization's main objectives are sustainable development and poverty reduction within its member states, as well as their greater integration into the world's economy. The meeting of OACPS, ministers in charge of fisheries and aquaculture, was instituted to facilitate the effective implementation of the fisheries mechanism, which was established in 2009 to reinforce the key role that fisheries and aquaculture play in the socio-economic development of member states, as well as address the challenges confronting the sector in member states. It provides a platform for key stakeholders to discuss pertinent issues relating to the sector, including climate change, ocean pollution, and IUU fishing. A national planning committee with membership from both the public and private sectors has been established to facilitate planning activities towards the hosting of the meeting. To ensure adequate publicity and sponsorship, the meeting was launched on the 24th of August 2021 at the Accra International Conference Center. As the host country, Ghana stands to benefit from shared experiences of participants in addressing some of the key challenges confronting the fisheries sector. Ghana also stands to benefit from the various economic transactions that these participants will make during their stay in the country. The theme for the 7th meeting is also relevant to government policy to transform and accelerate the fisheries and aquaculture sector to enable it to contribute more effectively to job creation and poverty alleviation. I wish to use this opportunity to express appreciation to the Honorable Chief of Staff and all individuals who participated in the official launch of the meeting. I also wish to call on corporate Ghana and the fishery resources users for their kind support in terms of sponsorship in ensuring successful meeting in 2022. Supply of pre-mixed fuel. Ladies and gentlemen, in line with government's quest to support our fisher folks, the ministry, through the Pre-Mixed Fuel Secretariat, continues with the supply of subsidized pre-mixed fuel to the landing beaches. A total of 52,920,000 liters of pre-mixed fuel were supplied between January to June 2021. As you may have observed, illegal activities such as pre-mixed fuel diversion and hoarding has reduced drastically. This is due to intensified monitoring and tracking of all supplies. By combined efforts of National Petroleum Authority and National Pre-Mixed Secretariat, the ministry has initiated processes to digitize the supply and distribution of pre-mixed fuel as a measure to further reduce the incidence of diversion and hoarding. Under the digitization program, sale of pre-mixed fuel will be fully automated and fishermen will use canoe identification cards to buy the product.